From frozen steppes to glowing screens, a single human story takes shape. Imagine a windswept plain some 12,000 years ago. A small clan moves at dawn, their breath steaming in the cold. A child grips a flint blade as they follow the reindeer toward a river where the ice groans. As the great ice withdrew, people settled. Seeds met soil, and the hunt learned to wait. Where fields could feed many, villages grew into towns, and towns into the first cities. Along the Tigris and the Nile, walls rose and granaries swelled. On clay and papyrus, simple marks became writing. Writing shaped law, and law gave structure to power and faith, holding strangers together across deserts and seas. Cities linked by tribute and trade grew into empires, pressing their version of order across continents. This was one world, slowly unfolding. Through these new connections, ideas began to travel. Scholars debated duty and desire, while monks carried stories by foot and by boat. Caravans creaked across the Silk Road, and monsoon dhows crossed the Indian Ocean, carrying not just spices, but new prayers and new philosophies. But ideas were not the only passengers. Microbes traveled just as easily, and the Black Death remade towns, wages, and faith. As networks widened, curiosity turned seaward. Oceanic crossings bound distant shores, linking the Americas with Afro-Eurasia in the Great Columbian Exchange. Plants, animals, and diseases leaped between continents. Corn met old soils, and horses met new riders. Centuries later, scientific experiments began to crack nature's codes. Steam turned muscle into machines. Factory whistles divided the day. Railways shortened the journey, and warfare learned the brutal math of steel and fire. The 20th century erupted in world wars. Old empires split apart as new nations spoke their names. A cold rivalry carved new borders, but also boosted science, from rockets to computer code. Now, globalization braids our markets and our lives, and digital networks shape our very thoughts. This is the world we inherit, a world of pathways shaped by food, faith, and force. Look closer, and you see the timeless patterns that drive this story. In a river capital at dusk, a tax scribe leans over papyrus. The state earns trust with grain and calendars, then locks it in with roads, courts, and armies. But when that trust falters, empires fray. Legitimacy has always been the quiet glue of power. Across markets and trade routes, exchange connects strangers. Merchants chase profit, rulers collect taxes, and workers organize when hunger outruns wages. Behind every transaction is a story people tell about what is fair. And in our modern world, a single stalled ship can disrupt this bargain across continents. Beliefs, too, are a powerful force. Creeds and manifestos once traveled on printing presses and radio waves. Now they stream through online liturgies and are even drafted by artificial intelligence. Belief builds belonging, but it also draws lines. Meanwhile, the planet itself answers back. Irrigation made cities possible, but deforestation toppled kingdoms. Fossil fuels heated the sky, and now climate change redraws the map of risk. This is why food prices, migration, and even debates over genome editing are all linked to the weather report. To understand our world, we must think historically, trace the causes, weigh the chances, and see the connections. As you vote, click, code, or simply live your life, you influence these ancient patterns. The history of the world is not over. It is a story you are helping to write right now.